Let's go.
Let's go. Hi guys. Good afternoon, no? So we have Chezer and Pearl here on our Zoom. So hi sad sa mga nasa ilang mga balay or to anyone who's watching this through YouTube, through the recorded Zoom meeting. So today, for our review session, we will be talking about integral calculus. For some, this is a review session. For those who already have taken this subject in the first semester of the first year, and for our first years who are wondering what this subject is all about and is about to take pa this subject in the next semester or in the coming semester, this is a tutorial session. So basically what we'll do now is we'll have to run through the basic concepts. We will know, or the goal here is to know the ideas as to how or what integral calculus is. We will know the types of integral and also the properties of indefinite and definite integrals. And lastly, I will be also giving you some examples, just basic examples, just to let you guys have an idea on how to solve integral calculus. So let me share my screen first. There's the PowerPoint. So yes, this one. Just to let you guys give you an idea, integral calculus is a very easy subject. Just as long as you study and take as much as examples, answer as much examples as possible, because this is a very iterative process. It just follows properties, and once you get the gist or get the hand of every properties, then that's when you can get or arrive to the correct answer. So let's discuss first the basic concept of integral calculus. Okay, so if we can recall sa ato ang differential calculus, sa ato mga first year nga wala pa nag-take or nag-take pa karon sa second cluster sa differential calculus, kay ang differential calculus is we are to get the derivative of a certain function, right? So here in integral calculus, it's pretty much the very inverse of differentiation. So if we get the derivative of the function sa differential, here sa integral calculus, we are given the derivative na. And what we are trying to get is the original function. So mauna ang ato ang gipangita sa integral calculus. By definition, it's the inverse process of differentiation. So if we are given a function f, we seek a function f with a derivative. So if mo ni siya ang function nga given, the derivative of x, our goal is to get the original function, which is denoted as f of x, which is in small letter. And it's commonly seen as this one. The integral of f of x dx is equal to f of x plus c. So unsa man ni sila? Unsay may tawag nila. So that sign there kanang murag s, that's the integral symbol. And the f of x, it's the integrand. And the x there in the dx, it's the integration variable. So our function depends on the integration variable. And lastly is the f of x plus c, that's our integral na. So muna na to ang antiderivative. By the way, integral or the answer sa ato ang integration, it's called integral or antiderivative, since it's the inverse process of differentiation or the derivative. So we're trying to find the antiderivative, the original function given the derivative of a function, right? So the c, unsay gamit sa c? Like c is a constant of integration. It's an arbitrary constant. If we can remember, or sa ato ang differential calculus again, if we differentiate a constant, ang makuha na to ng answer is 0, di ba? So the differential of a constant is 0. So to get the integral of a certain derivative, we just put c, because we don't know if that certain function has a constant or not. So we just put an arbitrary constant there. I hope that makes sense. So if you have any question, just don't be shy or don't hesitate to comment them down on the chat box. Or if you're afraid to do so, just let me know. Sa messenger, inbox me. I'll be more than willing to answer those questions of yours, guys, and help you and guide you all throughout the process of integral calculus. Because this may sound, or this subject may appear or seem really overwhelming and intimidating at first, but easy ra jud ni siya. And gamit kay ni siya sa future ninyo nga subject sad. So that's a basic concept and idea of integral calculus. Again, it's the inverse process of differentiation. And these are mo ni siyang mga parts sa usa ka integral calculus. So, what are the different types of integral calculus? There are two. First is the indefinite integral, and second is the definite integral. I'm sorry. So, we will be talking about these two later on, and we will be solving examples of these indefinite and definite integral. Basically, these two just share the same properties. However, in definite integral, we have to follow more processes. So, na continuation of processes because none naman siya boundaries. So, let's dig on that later on. So, unsa di ang properties sa indefinite integral? Mao na itong gamiton para pagkuha sa integral or sa antiderivative. First is, the integral of dx is equal to x plus c. So, wala siya constant, wala siya laing variable. It's just dx alone. Right? So, ang integral kuno sa dx alone is extra. Like, you just have to add x plus c. Then, the arbitrary constant, which is c. Ayaw mo galimot sa c, guys, because some teachers really require to put c, and it's required jud sad unless your teachers tell you otherwise. And next property is k of f of x dx is equal to k, the integral of f of x dx. So k here is a constant. So if not a constant, sulod sa itong integration symbol, we can simply take them out or ipagawas na to sa integration symbol and integrate katong the remaining function. So this is a second property which has a constant in it. So if naay k or constant, ipagawas ang constant, then we can integrate the remaining function of f of x. Right? And third is the integral of f of x plus g of x dx is simply the integral of f of x dx plus the integral of g of x dx. So, kung naa kay multiple term nga function given, the integrand consists of sum of terms right here, and each term may be integrated separately. Pwede na nimo siya i-separate o integrate. So, that's what we do if given ang separate nga function. I'm sorry. So, f of x atong gi-integrate and g of x atos ang gi-integrate og lain. So, since diri given is it's a sum, kung difference sad, we can use difference. Lahi lang ang mo kuan dira, lahi lang atong gamiton diri, ma-minus na ni siya. Right? So next is the fourth. It's called the power formula. Unsa ang power formula? So the integral of x to the power of n dx is equal to x to the power of n plus 1 over n plus 1. Then plus c. So basically, mo ni siya ang pinakagamit na formula. Why? Because there are a lot of functions that require powers or exponents, right? So kung naka-exponent, you just have to add 1. So x to the power of n plus 1, then we multiply that over n plus 1. And lastly, we have the differential of dx over x. The differential of, the integral of dx over x is equal to ln x plus c. As simple as that. So, as we can observe here in the fourth property, n here must not be equal to -1. Okay, if -1 siya, once may mahitabo na to dire sa kuan, n plus 1, it will become 0, right? So, to suffice that shortcoming of this specific property, we have this fifth property. So, dx over x, so dx over 1 over x is simply x to the power of -1 man. So, kung -1 gani ini siya dire, meaning ang ato ang integral is simply ln x plus c. So mo na siya ang properties sa indefinite integrals, and we just have to keep on going back on them to solve the integral of the different functions given. So far ba na by questions, or is everything clear? So just a recap because the concept really is very important, because we can't solve the integral or an antiderivative if we are not sure, or we are not that, our grasp on the process or the concept itself is not that tight. So balik ta, integral calculus, it's just the inverse process of differentiation. So if sa differential calculus kay given ta og function, ang ato ang goal is to find the derivative. Sa integral calculus, we are given the derivative of a certain function. Ang ato ang goal is to find the original function. So it's denoted as this formula: f of x dx is equal to f of x plus c, where the sign here is the integral symbol. F of x, this one is the integrand. The x here in dx is the integration variable, which means that our function is depending on the function, or our function depends on this integration variable, or it. And lastly is this, or the integral itself, or the answer, which is the integral or the antiderivative, f of x plus c. And the c, which is denoted as a constant of integration. Kaya nga ito, kaysa if sa differential calculus, ang constant, differential is a constant kay 0, we just have an arbitrary constant in integral calculus. Just to say nga kanang, what if na ay, kuan di ay, what ka ba unsa ang value sa constant dire? Kay ma-0 biya siya if imong i-derivative. So magbutang lang tag plus c as the constant of integration. And again, there are two types of integral: the indefinite integral and the definite integral. And here are the 5 properties. So the integral of dx is simply x plus c. Second is, if we have a constant, we can simply put them out, or simply put the constant out of the integral symbol, then integrate the remaining function of f of x dx. And if we have a multiple term function, we can integrate them separately, like this equation. So f of x plus gx dx is simply the integral of f of x dx plus the integral of g of x dx, which is similar to if minus ta. And we have the power formula, which is denoted as the integral of x to the power of n dx is equal to x n to the power, or x to the power of n plus 1 all over n plus 1 plus c. And lastly, if the power is -1, or if we have dx over x, the integral is simply ln x plus c. So I'll stop my screen sharing here and proceed to the whiteboard. So I apologize if like shaky ang pag-write. Let's go to the formulas, some examples. So let's just use very simple examples. So number 1. Canisia, what is the integral of 2 dx? So if we recall, there is this property in which if it has a constant in it, if the function is constant alone, we can simply take the constant out of the integral symbol and integrate the remaining function. So we can put it that way. So integral of 2 of dx is equal to 2 the integral of dx. And if we can remember, the first property is ang integral if dx ra is simply x, mag-add kag x. Therefore, the integral of 2 dx is simply 2x. So, seems pretty easy, right? So let's have another example. Let's have 3 dx over x. So unsa may unang buhaton nato ani ug unsa ang properties nga atong gamiton? Right? So una nato buhaton is tan-aw nato if nabay constant or di kay para atong mapagawas sa integral symbol. So since naaman, which is 3, atong ipagawas ang 3 and that's 1 over x dx. And natay properties, which happens to be the fifth property of the indefinite integral, which is the integral of 1 over x dx, or simply dx over x, is ln x, right? So our integral of 3 dx over x is simply 3 ln x plus c. Oh, I almost forgot. Mag-add pa rin plus c dire to have it as a constant of integration. Again, important ang constant of integration because it is an arbitrary constant, meaning it has a value in it. We just don't know what. Because again, sa differential equation, if mag-differentiate with a constant, ma-zero siya. So if ato ibalik siya sa yung original function, we just have to simply put an arbitrary constant which holds any value. Basta constant siya. So kana siya ang c. It's very important to take note and to never forget. So that's the answer of the integral of 3 dx over x is simply 3 ln x plus c. Right? So third example. Say third example na to. We have x is x to the power of 2/3 dx. So x to the power of 2/3 dx, if atong tanawon, unsa man siya nga kinds of property nga atong magamit, it's has exponents, right? So we can use the power formula or the fourth property. Unsa gaytong fourth property? X to the power of n, or the integral of x to the power of n is equal to x to the power of n plus 1 all over n plus 1. So ato rang adan og 1 ang exponent nya ato i-overall og n plus 1. Right? So if atong gamiton ang katong formula, so the integral of x to the power of 2/3 dx is simply x to the power of 2/3 plus 1 all over 2/3 plus 1. So what is 2/3 plus 1? It's 5/3 because 2 over 3 plus 3 over 3, it's x to the power of 5/3 all over 5/3. Right, so to simplify this further, we will have the final answer as 3 over 5 x to the power of 5/3 plus c. So that's the final answer. So far ba sa atong discussion, are there any clarifications or questions, especially sa katong mga first year nga naa karon sa Zoom? Chezer to Pearl, I really appreciate you guys joining in today's session because I know nga you guys are still first years and you still have to take this. It's a step ahead, one step ahead of your batchmates kay you are willing to learn this as early as now. Okay, for sure, ma-intimidate mo as you go on the second semester. So just ask questions if you must, or if you have any questions, and I'll be willing to answer them. So we can discuss it here na lang sad, and so everybody can know and can rewatch this all over again sa Zoom or sa YouTube rather. So let's just continue with another example. Kani sila mga simple pa kani sila nga mga examples. We just have to show the basic properties of the indefinite integral. And moving forward, we will have a more and more complex examples for you guys. So fourth is, what if we are given a series or multiple term na function? So 3x to the power of 4 plus 8/3 or x 8 to the power of plus 6x squared plus 5 dx. So ato ning i-clear. So ano siya bag? So ako na erase ha. Anyway, easy ram to siya. Apart. Okay. So what if we are given this type of function? Unsa man nato? So the third property states that if the integrand consists of a sum of terms or the difference of terms in such case, each term may be integrated separately. So ato ra ni siyang ibuwag. Ato rang buwagon na ang expression. So let's have this. Kung ato ni siyang buwagon, we'll have 3x to the power of 4 dx plus the integral of 8x cubed dx plus 6x squared dx plus the constant, which is 5 dx. Right? Ato orang gi substitute ato orang gi associate or distribute ang dx sa each terms. So we will get this type of function, right? So again, following the same property or the same mga formula katong given ganina, so we'll just apply these here. For this, we have 3 as the constant, so we can remove that outside the integral symbol and simply do it like that for dx. So we have 8 as a constant here and x3 as our, and we have 6 as our constant. We can simply put them out of the integral symbol and integrate the x squared dx plus 5, which is constant alone, then dx. Right? So lang i-delete ka diyan. So kani siya, we now have power formulas. We will use power formulas kay ang habilin naman lang kay exponents mostly sa mga terms. So we have 4 plus 1 over 4 plus 1, which is 5. Ato na dito. So again, natay 3 dire. Times 3 na siya. Plus 8 times x to the power of 3 plus 1, which is 4, over 4, right? Okay, and plus 1 naman gyapon. And plus 6 times x to the power of 2 plus 1, which is 3, over 3. And if constant kito siya, like add na siya og x, okay, since dx man siya. So 5x. So we have 3/5 x to the power of 5 And here on our second term, ma-simplify pa siya further. So let's just, this is 1 and 2. So, or 2 na siya, positive 2. Sorry. So, that's 2x to the power of 4. Plus, again, ma-simplify pa siya. That's, again, 2. 2x to the power of 3 plus 5x. And dito na to kalimtan ang plus c. So, that's it for the answer of that long function. Ato orang gigamit ang mga properties, different properties like the power formula, we have the constant, we also have katong sum of terms, right? So following those properties, we can come up with an answer of 3/5 x to the power of 5 plus 2x to the power of 4 plus 2x cubed plus 5x plus c. Right? So next, I think sa'yo na siya para ninyo, Jude. Very clear lang ka na ko sa. Okay, daraday mo sa yun. So, a more complicated daw, like what if we have this? Unsa day buhaton if ang given nga integrand are not, readily solvable or na mga algebraic operations nga dapat manggamiton unsa tong buhaton. So, what if we are given a certain function like the integral of 2x minus 3 x minus 4 dx. So if we are given that specific function or integrand, unsa man tong unang buhaton? Simply, we just have to multiply it using FOIL method or in which way you want. So if ato ni siyang i-multiply, we will get, we have 2x squared here and minus 11x plus 12. And enclose that into parentheses and then dx. If you're given integrands that are not readily solvable, or in this case, inani ang naong niya, we just have to simplify to an extent nga we can, we can solve it na. Like, for example, this. Na naman tay terms nga different, or, the difference and the sum of the terms, ganato lang buwagon or ato i-separate ang atong pag-integrate. So, we have 2x squared dx minus the integral of 11x dx plus the integral of 12 dx. So following the same properties, we can take the constant out of the integrand symbol minus, and here in this case, we have 11 as a constant, x dx plus 12 dx, right? So follow the power formula. In this case, we will have x to the power of 2 plus 1, which happens to be 3, all over 3, minus 11 x, we have 1 man here, so 1 plus 1, we have 2, all over 2, plus 12 dx. So if dx gani, simply add x na lang because the integral of dx is simply x. So dito na siya, 12x. So we have 2/3 x to the power of 3 minus 11 halves x to the power of 2 plus 12x. And di kalimtan ang plus c. Right, so given this equation, we will come up with an answer of this as the integral. Okay. So let's have two more examples before we move forward sa definite integrals. Basically, sa definite integrals, kay solvable naman siya, kaya na siya calcu. However, we'll just give you the concept of unsaon pag-solve if walay calcu. And it just follows the same process as the Konman, the indefinite. It's just that it takes longer and it has the following pang processes. So let's have two more examples to end our discussion sa indefinite integral, and then we can move forward to definite integral. If that's okay with you guys. So let's clear all the drawings. Kanisiya, if we are given this bit, 1 minus square root of 5 over square root of t dt. So if we are given the integral of 1 minus square root of 5 all over square root of t dt, unsa man yang integral, unsa man yang antiderivative. So in this case, unsa man nat ang buhaton? So napa din siya square dire. Na siya square dire. So the first thing we should do is to again make it as simple as possible. Make it as solvable as possible. So since naman tayo square dire, let's simplify that, and we will come up with an answer of 1 minus 2 square root of 5. Nasa day t dire day, oy. Sorry. So that's 1 minus square root of 5 t to the power of 2 over square root of t. So plus 5 5t squared all over square root of t. Right? So, muna na siya. If atong buwagon ang mga terms, we will come up with 1 over square root of t dt minus 2 square root of 5 t over square root of t plus 5 or na siya dt plus 5 t squared over square root of t dt. So basically what we did is we just separated each terms again. So naman tayo common nga denominator, which is square root of t. So mo na tang gigamit. And if we can recall, t or square root of t is simply t to the power of 1/2, right? So ato mo na natong gamiton dire. So t to the power of 1/2 minus the integral of, we can simply take out, or this one out of the integral symbol, and if we can recall, unsa man to rule sa kuan, what if we have t here which has an exponent of 1 and t with an exponent of 1/2. So the rule here is we can just simply subtract them, right? So ang mabili na lang is t to the power of 1 minus 1/2, that's simply 1/2. If i-divide na mo siya in if we divide exponent or variables nga na exponent, we just simply have to subtract them, leaving us this t to the power of 1/2. Then last equation is 5. We have 5 here. Then t to the power of 2 all over t, or square root of t. So we just have to again subtract them. So I have 2 minus 1/2. Pila man? So we have t to the power of 3/2. Right? And nana siya dt siya dire. Nanay dt tanan dire. So following the power rule, we have t to the power of 1/2 plus 1. Pila man? So 3/2. T to the power of 3/2 all over 3/2 minus 2 square root of 5 . Oh, I apologize. So, since square root of t man siya, then atong gibutang sa taas, so negative t din, negative 1/2 din na siya, since na mo na siyang numerator. So, ay ta na kuan. So, 1 over square root of t is 1 over t over 1/2. However, if ato siyang ibutang sa numerator, mahimo na siyang t to the power of negative 1/2. So, dili na siya 3/2 din. I'm sorry. So, that's basically negative 1/2 plus 1, it's 1/2. 1/2 ra gyapon. And here we have ari na ang kuan, like t to the power of 1/2 plus 1, which is 3/2. So we have 3/2 over 3/2. Right, and lastly we have 5 to the power of 3/2 plus 3/2 plus 1 is equal to 5/2. 5/2 over 5/2. Right, so mo na ni siya, and our goal na lang is to simplify this further, which will result to 2 to the power t to the power of 1/2 minus 4 square root of 5 over 3 t to the power of 3/2. Then we have plus 2 t to the power of 5/2. Then don't forget the plus c, or the constant of integration. So that's our answer if we have this kind of function. Right. Let me clear my drawings first. So for the last example, what if we're given this one down? What if we are given 3x plus 2, then we have to the power of 3 dx. So again, this may look intimidating and overwhelming. Kay na to the power of 3 din na siya squared. We just have to simplify. So ato lang i-cube ni siya nga terms. So unsa may cube na niya, if ato pang like process, like we have to go through the process of cubing this certain function, we will get an answer of 27x to the power of cube, or to the power of 3 rather, plus 54x squared plus 36x plus 8. Right, so That's 27, 27 dx. Again, since na naman tayo simplified na form, we can simply follow the properties. So we have 27 x cubed plus, we have 54, take out 54 out of the integral symbol, then x squared, plus 36 x, then plus 8 dx. So that's simply 27 times x to the power of 4 over 4, to the power of 4 over 4. Let's just have that 4 here. Plus 54 times x to the power of 2 plus 1, which is 3, over 3. Then plus 36 x plus 1 plus 1, which is 2. We have x squared over 2. Plus 8, we just simply copy x. So simplifying, we have 27 fourths x to the power of 4 plus 54 divided by 3 is 18. 18x cubed plus 18x squared, then plus 8x, then plus c. So that is our final answer. Kajira, guys. So, mo to siya for indefinite integral. We just have to follow again the properties and we can come up with an answer na. So the goal is to first is simplify and then follow the properties. Diba easy naman siya, and it just takes constant practice to further improve our integrating skills. Kani sila mga simple pa ni sila mga functions, there are still trigonometric functions, logarithmic functions, at least nga napasad sila kaugalingan nila nga properties, and dili lang 5 ka properties bitaw ang sa indefinite or sa definite integrals, napa jud siya daghan. I think malapas siya og 20. So since we are only talking about a simple integral here, or katong very basic na integral, kay 5 lang sa ang atong i-introduce, and moving forward you'll know kung ano to sila mga uban nga mga properties pa. Okay, mora man gyapon to siyang foundation sa integral calculus. So we just have to keep on going back on them to arrive at an answer. So moving forward, clear. Let's move on to the definite integrals. So unsay din naong sa definite integrals if ang indefinite integral if f of x dx, if mao ni siya ang given sa indefinite integral, unsa di ang definite integral? From the words itself, definite. So meaning na kay certain nga value jud. Like you come up with an answer with a real number. So unsa na siya pagpangita? So sa definite integral, ang nakalayan niya is na siya boundaries. Boundaries in such a way nga na values a and b. So na siya values. So unsa ang value sa integral sa usa ka function given the boundaries of a and b. So let's talk about that. Nasa properties ang definite integrals. So first property is the definite integral of a given function is independent of the variable of integration because it has a definite value. Again, nasa definite value. There nasa interchanging limits, change of signs sa integral or sa definite integral. So, mo na siya mga properties. So, unsaon day siya pag-solve? Let's have an example. Kana lang sayo ng example. So what if we are given x cubed plus 8 over x plus 2? And the values of a and b are 2 and 5. Take note nga ang mas gamay nga value kaya siya sa ubos and mas dako nasa taas. And that's the boundary of the certain function. Unsa man nato siya? So first is simplify, right? So x cubed plus 8. So it can be simplified further as x squared, or rather x, sorry, eraser that. So x plus 2, special term or special man siya nga kuan nga function. So x squared minus 2x right? So if yan, we'll just have it all over x plus 2. And don't forget the boundaries, 2, 5 dx. You can see we can eliminate x plus 2, which will leave us with x squared minus 2x plus 4. So ang atong buhaton is similar ra. First nga buhaton na to is simplify. Next is similar with indefinite integral. We just have to find the integral of this. We have x squared dx minus 2 x dx plus 4 dx. Right? So mo ni siya if we will write it in such a way nga more siya indefinite integral. Integrate, we have x cubed over 3 minus 2 x squared over 2. So it can be simply cancelled. Plus 4x. So mo if we are asked to find the indefinite integral of this function, we will end with this function. So magbutang na tag plus c. However, naman tay boundary. So we are asked for the definite value. Unsa man ang value ani nga specific na function or the integral of that function if we are given a certain limit or a value or of the boundaries. So since naman tay 5 and 2, we'll just have it as 2 and 5. Unsa man nato pagkuha. So let me clear or erase it. Unsa man nato pagkuha. So to get that is we just have to substitute these values into each terms and minus unsaon. So let me show you that. So x, that's 1/3 x cubed. So namatay value sa upper limit, which is 5, which let's have that as 3 minus x squared, which is 5 squared plus 4 times 5, right? So mo na siya ang sa upper limit and we subtract. So 1/3 2 to the power of 3 minus 2 to the power of 2 plus 4 times 2. So that's the concept of definite integral. So we just have to find the integral of a certain function, then given a certain limit or boundaries, okay, we just have to simply plug in those values and subtract the upper and the lower limit. So let me erase that. So kani, if atong i-calculate, which is 5 to the power of 3, that's 125 over 3 minus 25 plus 20. So we will come up with an answer of 110 over 3. And minus 4 over 3 minus 4 plus 8, that's simply 20 over 3. So, ang definite integral ato nga given function is simply 110 minus 20 over 3. So, 110 minus 20 is 90 over 3. It's simply 30. So, mangutan na mo, nga nung walay plus C? Walay plus C because we are asked to find naman the exact value. So, mauna na siya ang value jud sa certain nga limit or sa certain nga integral function. Kajira? So let's move forward and have a last example sa integral calculus or sa integral, sa definite integral. So here all drawings. What if we are given kanila masayon 2, 5. Again, that's ds over 5s. So in terms of s, yeah, we have 5 or more siya katong fifth property sa indefinite integral ba nga we have dx over x until may how do we get the integral of that? So we just have to use the ln x, right? So kung ato na siyang i-simplify, let's pagawas the 1/5 kay now na siya 1 dira, so 1/5 ang iyahang constant and ds over s. So that will equate to 1/5 ln s, right? So again, if indefinite pa ni siya, mao na ni siya ang ato ang gipangita. However, naman siya boundaries, we just have to substitute the boundaries 2 and 5. So 1/5 ln 5 minus 1/5 of ln 2. So if you can recall, na property sa logarithm na if we subtract ln's, okay, it will simply equate to ln a minus ln b is simply ln a over b. Mao na tong gamiton dire. So that's 1/5. Ato lang ipagawas ang 1/5 since they're both common in both terms. That's ln 5 over 2. Right. So mao na natong answer. Or if we simplify it further pa, if we get the value jud kay, that will equate to 0.183. So that is our final answer for the definite integral of this term. Right? So masayon para nako ang definite integral. Why? Because na siya sa calculator. If you can see nga na function sa calculator nga kana ganing na integral symbol, and you just have to input the limit, you just have to input the function itself. Mugawas na siya. So if you can see or if you can get your calculators there, na siya, and it will give you the exact answer. And it's something what dili nimo makuha ang indefinite kay wala man siya limit. You yourself have to get the final equation pa sa indefinite. So masayon para nako ang definite ha kay magamit og calculator. However, in the academy we are not we should practice solving by ourselves without the aid of calculator and use na lang the calculator for checking if sakto tong answer. So, mo na siya ang concept sa integral, both indefinite and definite integral. And that ends my talk for today or the review for today. I hope you guys learned from me. I'll stop my screen now. So I hope you guys learned something from me. Thank you kayo ni Chester ug ni Pearl for staying with us until this time. So we allotted 1 hour for integral calculus. I hope nga nang you learned sad bisag gamay because that's what we're trying to do here. We want to help you guys out. Thank you Chester and Pearl. Um Nara my question or yeah so far or did you learn something? Thank you kayo ninyo. Next for the next review sessions kay you can invite your friends para we can share the knowledge ba to other people sad because kanang sa YouTube, yes, we can watch this on YouTube anytime we want. However, it's something that kon ba kanang mas nice ta nga we have interaction. So if na may question kay Mansera and we can guide you through that. Anyway, if you have questions, kay you can just chat me. You know that my messenger is always open for you for your questions, and I will be willing to answer those questions. So, thank you so much, everyone. That ends my talk na. Have a great day. Thank you sad dawa. Lamat sad ni ko Angelic ko day sa pagkuan.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Joy.
Salamat kay guys.